Hi everyone, it's 11 o'clock. So we're gonna begin. My name is Akanksha, like I posted on the chat group. I'm here on behalf of LXL and IKFF to moderate today's discussion. Before I begin to introduce the workshop host, I'm just gonna lay out some quick guidelines that I'd like all of us to follow. Okay, I can also post in the chat box. You guys can refer to it later on. Just so you guys know, the session will be around an hour long. If you want to ask questions, you can either use the raise hand option or you can post it directly in the chat box. And in case we can't answer your question immediately, we will definitely do it in the Q&A session that we have afterwards. Please keep yourself on mute, okay, if you're not talking, because otherwise it's a little difficult and there'll be some noise interruptions and that could become a little difficult. Yes, someone has raised their hand. You can just post on the chat box. So I can just, Smeet, you can just post on the chat box your question. The sessions, just so you guys know, will be recorded. So they'll be either available through the IKFF website, or they have a YouTube page, and we will let you and your schools know where the sessions can be accessed and when they can be accessed. So you, in case you miss something, don't worry, you'll be able to watch the session again. Keep a pen and paper with you throughout the duration of the session, because the host might want to, engage you with some things. And also you guys can take notes, of course. Oh, yeah. So Smeet, you've written, ma'am, we can't speak. So that's because so that there are not so many interruptions, but we will try during the question and answer session to maybe open up. Maybe we'll try and see what we can do. But in the meanwhile, if you have anything that you'd like to say, please put it on the chat box. And I'm going to be looking at the chat box the whole time. So I'll be able to keep track, okay, of what's happening. You can't hear. Okay, someone has said they can't hear. Is anyone else? Can everyone hear me? Am I audible? Madhuri and Shivangi, am I audible? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So then we can maybe figure that out. Yeah, join again. Cool. I'd like to start now by introducing Madhuri and Shivangi. Can they say hi? Say hi, guys. Okay.
Yes.
Um, Cool. So Madhuri, just so you guys know, is the programming manager of the International Kids Film Festival, which you guys are watching and are part of right now. She's been working in the industry for 6 years, and she's worked with lots of famous people like Anupam Kher and Ravina Tandon and KK Menon. And so if you guys have any questions, you can always ask her later. She's worked on various film ventures, so we have a bunch of different things called like corporate and TVCs and features. And so she has a very strong creative vision that she brings to all projects, including the workshop that you guys are going to see today. Shivangi, say hi, Shivangi.
Hi, guys.
Is a documentary filmmaker from Delhi. Over the past few years, she has worked on many films that document marginalized minority communities in India. And she has also extensively documented political protests and holds a postgraduate degree from Jamia, so in Delhi. And she currently works at LXL as a film specialist. So she's also part of our organizing team for IKFF. And over to you guys. I'm going to post on the chat box. And yeah, enjoy.
Right.
Good
We
luck.
can begin now.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for such a lovely introduction, Akansha. Hello,
Thank you.
everyone. A very good morning to all you guys. Can I request Akansha to just present our presentation so that
I
we can begin with our workshop? Yeah,
I
Madhuri.
hope you guys are comfortable with Hindi English both.
Yeah, please let us know. If any one of you wants that we should speak in Hindi, you can please type it in the chat box and हम हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं. There's no problem at all.
Yeah.
Right? So feel free to do that. And now we'll begin with our workshop. As you all know, today we've all met here to learn how to make short films on your phone. आज की डेट में लगभग हम सबके पास स्मार्टफोन्स हैं. वी ऑल हैव आवर स्मार्टफोन्स, बट हाउ एग्जैक्टली डू वी ऑपरेट द लेंस एंड हम वीडियोस कैसे बनाएं कि वो और बेहतर दिखे, दे आर मोर प्रेजेंटेबल एंड नीटर एंड क्लीनर. So without much ado, can I please request you to go to the next slide? Thank you. So, to begin the workshop, we have a beautiful quote for you, which says that if you can film an idea in your mind, follow that film idea shot for shot, scene for scene, that idea is worth making. Which basically means कि आज की डेट में fortunately फिल्म मेकर बनने के लिए हमें कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा equipments और चीज़ों की ज़रूरत नहीं होती. If we have something as simple as our smartphones with us, जिसमें ये लेंस होता है, and we have an idea in our mind, we can make it shot by shot and a great film or a video for that matter. Even if you just want to make a video, say, of you dancing, it'll come across very, very nicely. So let's just elaborate on how we can achieve that today. Okay, so to give you a brief introduction, in the beginning, filmmaking दो तरीके से होती थी. There were two ways. One was the traditional way of filmmaking. You know, the kind of filmmaking that used to happen in generations before, of your parents, of your grandparents. जब हम लोग सब शायद पैदा भी नहीं हुए थे, तब फिल्म मेकिंग का प्रोसेस काफ़ी लेंदी और बड़ा होता था. जैसे आपको पता है बहुत बड़े बड़े इक्विपमेंट्स लगते थे. इट वाज एनालॉग टू अ ग्रेट एक्सटेंट, विच मीन्स कि एक की डिफरेंशिएटर ये था कि आप जो भी शूट या रिकॉर्ड करते थे, आप वो नहीं देख पाते थे जब तक वो डेवलप नहीं होता था. अंटिल इट हैड बीन डेवलप्ड द फुटेज वी कुड नॉट सी इट. But then comes the digital filmmaking, something that all of us are aware of. हम सब जानते हैं digital filmmaking क्या होता है, जिसमें कि हमारे पास डिवाइसेस हैं. दी एक्सेसिबिलिटी ऑफ डिवाइसेस आज की डेट में हम सबके पास, जैसे कि मैंने कहा, लगभग एक स्मार्टफोन है. इसमें इजीली एक एडिटिंग सॉफ्टवेयर वी कैन डाउनलोड एंड देन वी हैव द लेंस. सो डिजिटल फिल्म मेकिंग इज व्हाट वी आर गोना लर्न अबाउट टुडे. एंड द ग्रेट पार्ट अबाउट इज दैट वी रियली डोंट नीड द मनी. जब तक हमारे पास हमारी सराउंडिंग्स है और आइडिया हमारे दिमाग में है, पैसों की ज़रूरत नहीं है अगर हमारे पास सिर्फ ये स्मार्टफोन हो. ऑल्सो डिजिटल फिल्म मेकिंग में एक और एडवांटेज ये है कि कोई भी फिल्म बना सकता है और किसी भी तरीके की फिल्म बना सकता है. अगर आपको एक फिक्शनल स्टोरी सुनानी है, आप वो भी सुना सकते हैं. अगर आपको एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री बनाना है, अगर आपको एक इंटरव्यू बनाना है, जैसे कि हम इंस्टाग्राम रील्स पे देखते हैं आज की डेट में, तो हम वी कैन अचीव एनी काइंड ऑफ वीडियो फॉर्मेट थ्रू डिजिटल फिल्म मेकिंग, विच वॉज अ रिस्ट्रिक्शन ड्यूरिंग द एनालॉग टाइम्स. Can we go to the next slide now?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So I would request my partner Madhuri to take over, and she'll walk you through the processes of filmmaking. कि filmmaking जैसी बड़ी चीज हम processes में छोटा छोटा करके सीख कैसे सकते हैं. So Madhuri,
It's a very easy task. Thank you so much, Shivangi, and good morning all. I hope you are excited for the session. I can see a lot of smiling faces right now. So I'll just quickly explain the process, which is same, like exactly same when you're shooting from your phone, when you're shooting from your camera, anywhere. And like as Shivangi said, that traditional method and digital method, we are using the same process from the start when the film actually arrived in our life, actually how we started making film. So when I start talking about pre-production, which is the first stage of filmmaking, which is the idea, the story, like how the idea comes to you, how the idea initially comes to you. If I'm talking about a travel, for example, I'm just talking about a travel video. Nowadays, like people are vlogging, where they're making travel videos through their phones. It's really easy, right? It's very easy. So if you have an idea to make a travel video, for example, so you have to sit down and think about it, and you have to make and jot down your idea on a paper, say what it will be the location, what will be the area where you want to shoot, and when are you going to shoot, and everything. You need a planning. That is called a pre-production part, where you plan everything, okay? When you plan and you do whatever you want to do on a paper, you write everything. Then comes the execution part, which is our next stage, which is called production, where actually whatever you have planned and make, like all ideas, whatever you have in your mind, you go and execute it. For example, I'm just talking about the travel video. So if you have planned going to Ooty, so you can actually book your tickets that time, and you have booked your tickets, and you can go there, and whatever you have planned, you have to shoot some place, particular location, or you have to take an interview, and whatever, you can just do everything there. And that is the time which says production. What is production there? And if you want to, like, say for example, you want to take an interview, and you have planned an interview, say with a person there doing something, so you have to cross-check everything, the background and the art and everything, like even your costumes. So that also comes under the production part. Then obviously when you shot you have shot everything, all the locations, every part of the idea which you have decided. Then comes the last process, which is called editing and sound, and that is called post production. You'll sit down and you'll do editing on your phone. Yes, you can do edit on your phone. So there are a lot of softwares which are available free. You can do editing there. You can put everything. Obviously, you've shot for like hours long videos, which you can trim it down to one minute, or say whatever the duration you like. So going forward, production part is going to be discussed, and the post production part is going to be discussed. Pre-production, I think we have already had a session before, and you can we will give you the session for that, the offline session, if you missed that session earlier. So production part, Shivangi is going to take care of it after this, and the post-production part, I'm going to take care of it. So let Shivangi, we can move to our next slide, and you can take them forward to the production process.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to begin with basic elements of video making. Before I start, Akansha, I have a question that I see questions in the chat box. So do I answer them right now, or do I wait once we're done with the workshop?
I think whatever you guys are comfortable with, but if you're on a flow, then I think best to answer them in the question answer session. I will keep a note of it, so don't worry.
Okay, sure. So we'll take the questions. You guys can put the questions as I mentioned, and we'll take them at the end of the workshop. ठीक है? चलिए अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. नाउ अब हमें इस कैमरा से, इस फोन कैमरा से शूट करना है, बट उससे पहले हमें ये समझना होगा कि जैसे कि माधुरी ने बोला, our minds create the stories, right? We have an idea and then we write it down. Now it is about translating that on the screen, something so good that people also like it, the way we imagine it beautifully. So what happens there is, जैसे कि हमारा दिमाग सोचता है और हमारी आंखें उसे इमेजिन करती हैं, similarly ये लेंस हमारी आंखों का काम करते हैं. For our story that we want to show the world, I'll again mention whether it's fiction or non-fiction, हमारे दिमाग में जो भी स्टोरी है उसे ट्रांसलेट करने के लिए हम इस स्मार्टफोन और इस लेंस का यूज करेंगे. कैसे यूज करेंगे, कहाँ रखेंगे, that is what we're going to learn in the workshop. So can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, how to grab attentions, how to like shoot videos that grab attention. Now there are three very, very major things when it comes to shooting a good and a clean and a neat video. First and foremost, again, आंखों पे वापस जाएंगे. आंखों को कुछ कब दिखता है? When are we able to see? When there is lighting, right? Similarly, जब हम लेंस से शूट कर रहे हैं, so we have to make sure that the light is correct. I want to genuinely share this at this point is that हमें ऐसा लगता है कि जो हम स्क्रीन पे देखते हैं वो बहुत easily achieve हो जाता है, वो बस एक कैमरा के लेंस से achieve होता है. First and foremost and the most important thing in lighting is that there are two kinds of lighting. One is the natural lighting, the second one is man-made lighting. So जब हम फोन कैमरा से शूट कर रहे होते हैं, we can take support of both. Natural lighting, as we know, sun, the ultimate source of lighting. अभी भी आप देख सकते हैं partially मेरे face पे sunlight आ रही है, which is why like this side of my face is lit up. Second is man-made lighting, जो अभी हम सबके घरों पे है. हमारे घर पे ट्यूब लाइट्स है, बल्ब्स है, फोन की फ्लैश लाइट्स है. सो लाइटिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. जैसे आंखों के लिए लाइट, रोशनी की बहुत जरूरत होती है, वैसे ही लेंस के लिए भी हमें कुछ अच्छा दिखाना है तो उसके लिए अच्छी लाइट की जरूरत होती है. जरूरी नहीं है कि हमें बहुत फैंसी लाइट्स चाहिए जो फिल्म कैमराज में यूज होती हैं. हमारी बेसिक लाइट से भी बहुत अच्छी वीडियोस आ सकती हैं. सो फर्स्ट एंड द सेकंड वन इज शॉर्ट एंगल्स एंड मूवमेंट्स. हमने लाइट सेट कर दी, हमारा जो सब्जेक्ट है वो अच्छा दिख रहा है लाइट में, बट अब हम कैमरा कैसे घुमाएं, कहाँ रखें और क्या करें कि शॉट बहुत अच्छे से आए. That is the second part, which is shots, angles and movements. Then we also take care of the framing and composition. What happens in framing and composition? अब मुझे कोई सब्जेक्ट दिखाना है अपने कैमरा में, बट सिर्फ वो सब्जेक्ट तो आता नहीं है. जैसे कि अभी हम देख रहे हैं, वी कैन सी योर फेसेस, बट आई कैन ऑल्सो सी द कर्टन्स बिहाइंड. समटाइम्स आई कैन ऑल्सो सी द फैन, मे बी आई कैन सी अ टेबल और अ चेयर. सो दैट इज कॉम्पोजिशन, कि हमारा फ्रेम, हमारी लेंस, हमारी आंखें जो भी कैप्चर कर रही है वो कैसे कंपोज्ड है फ्रेम में. अब हम इसी के बारे में इलैबोरेट करेंगे एक एक पॉइंट को. कैन वी गो टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. लाइटिंग फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट. एज यू कैन सी इन दिस जिफ, कैमरा कहीं नहीं है, बस एक ही इंसान की शक्ल है, बस ये लाइट का एंगल है. इट्स द एंगल एंड द साइड ऑफ द लाइट दैट इज चेंजिंग अगेन. And as you can see, every time it changes, it gives a different expression and a different emotion. That is the role of light. So one of the most basic things that we can learn is, if we want कि हमारा जो subject है, और ज़रूरी नहीं है subject किसी का चेहरा हो, वो एक क्लासरूम भी हो सकती है, वो एक सड़क भी हो सकती है, वो दो लोग बात करते हुए भी हो सकते हैं, वो कुछ भी हो सकता है, उस पे लाइट पड़े. उस पे लाइट पड़ने के लिए द लाइट हैज ऑलवेज हैव टू बी ऑपोजिट द सब्जेक्ट, तभी उस पे लाइट पड़ेगी. सो द प्लेसमेंट ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट लाइट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द सब्जेक्ट. हो सकता है मुझे अपना सब्जेक्ट पूरा नहीं दिखाना, मुझे बस थोड़ा सा दिखाना है, तो इस जैसे कि हम इस जिफ में देख सकते हैं, लाइट का एंगल चेंज करने से सब्जेक्ट के अलग अलग पार्ट्स हाईलाइट होते हैं, जिससे कि हम अपनी स्टोरी और अच्छे से कन्वे कर सकते हैं. द लास्ट थिंग अबाउट लाइटिंग दैट यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ इज द फैक्ट कि डिफरेंट लाइटिंग जो है वो डिफरेंट मूड और सेटअप भी देता है. आप लोगों ने हॉरर फिल्म्स देखी होंगी, थ्रिलर फिल्म्स देखी होंगी. नेक्स्ट टाइम जब आप देखें, प्लीज मेक अ नोट ऑफ इट एंड लुक एट द लाइटिंग. यू विल नॉट सी द कैरेक्टर्स completely lit or the roads, they are darker because they want to give you a sense of fear and the thrill that they want to convey. When we see our favorite movies, when we see Shah Rukh Khan, when we see the Hrithik Roshans, completely lit, their face is completely lit क्योंकि उनका वो face highlight करना चाहते हैं. Again, I will again mention this, fancy lights की जरूरत नहीं है. Something as simple as a phone torch also works, your tube light also works. But do this exercise for yourself. Click a photo जहां पे आप ट्यूब लाइट के सामने हैं, ट्यूबलाइट आपके सामने है और आप एक सेल्फी ले रहे हैं, एंड देन क्लिक अ फोटो जहां पे ट्यूबलाइट और आप दोनों सेम पैरेलल पे हैं, एंड देन क्लिक अ फोटो एंड नोटिस द डिफरेंस विद दैट. कैन वी गो टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज? राइट. So as I explained to you guys, the placement of lighting matters a lot. जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं पहली क्लिप में, जो लाइट है वो हमारे सब्जेक्ट के फेस पे नहीं है, विच इज वाई ये नेचुरल लाइट है. ऐसे ही हमारी आंखें देखती हैं, तो ऐसे ही जब हम स्क्रीन को मतलब लेंस को सामने रख देते हैं और फोटो खींचते हैं तो हम डिसअपॉइंटेड होते हैं यार कि तो लाइट अच्छे से नहीं आ रही. सो वी ऑलवेज हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट नेचुरल और मैनमेड हम डिफरेंट सोर्सेज ऑफ लाइट यूज कर सकते हैं टू लाइट अप अ सब्जेक्ट, एज यू कैन सी इन एग्जाम्पल 1. Now, the second example is a bonus for all of you. It's called a silhouette. It's called a shadow. It's a very famous way of shooting something. As you can see in the second clip, for a silhouette, the funda, the formula, the logic is very clear. जब लाइट हमारे अगेंस्ट होती है तो हम पे लाइट पड़ती है और हम वेल लिट होते हैं. जब लाइट हमारे पीछे होती है, हमारी सेम साइड पे होती है, तो हमारी शैडो, हमारी सिलुएट फॉर्म हो जाती है. जैसे कि हम एक, वी कैन सी इट इन द सेकंड वीडियो. The light is behind the subject, right? And hence the silhouette is being formed. Can we go to the next slide now, please? Here we go. Now's the second part, which is the framing and the composition. Like I said, हमें हमारा सब्जेक्ट पता है, हमने उस पर लाइट डाल दी, हमने उससे साइड पे लाइट डाल दी, हमने उससे पीछे लाइट डाल दी. बट फ्रेम में जो इंसान देख रहा है, what all will they see? How will they see? Where will they see the subject? So something very basic is called a composition. It's divided into 3 parts in every frame. आप आज तक notice नहीं करते होंगे, but I hope in the next things that you see, you start noticing it. There is a foreground, as the name suggests. सबसे पहले एक चीज, middle ground, and then the background, right? So in the first image, as we can see, the foreground is slightly out of focus, which is okay because हम सबकी नजर कहाँ जा रही है? Subject पे, which is in the middle ground. And as you can see in the background, the train is running by. So that is one way of creating a frame or composing a frame. I'm sorry. The second one is the interview. As you can see, in this, the subject is in the middle ground. हमारी नजर उन पे जा रही है, but in the beginning, there is a lampshade in the foreground, and in the background, there is a film clap to grab the attention. Or maybe because it's a video, say, about filmmaking, so हमने filmmaking के elements डाले so that the audience can relate to it.
Shivangi, sorry, just to before you continue,
Yeah.
2 things. One is that someone in the chat box has asked about lit. So can you just explain the idea of light a little better and what maybe the sources of light are? Also, someone has requested you to also speak in English throughout. So if I could just
Okay, all right, not a problem at all.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll be speaking in English now onwards, but for the coming back to the former doubt, as far as light is concerned, as I said, when you're looking at like through your eyes can only see the things which are reflecting the light, right? Similarly, for the lens will capture better if the light is in and around the subject. There are ways of lighting your subject up. You can keep the light against the subject and on the side of your phone lens camera so that the light is being reflected on the subject, and then you get a properly lit video. Akansha, if you want, we can go back to the previous slide.
So they want to know what is the meaning of lit.
Lit means to like lighten up. It's
That's what,
actually a slang that your generation use, but
and
lit
that's what they
only
want to
means
know.
that something's just lightened up.
Okay.
Next slide, please. Is that all? Was that the dot? So,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I said,
yeah, yeah.
in the first frame towards your right, the woman's face is lit, and on your left, it's not lit enough, which is why we're seeing the difference, right? Let's go back, guys, to framing and composition. Yeah, so we were on foregrounds and backgrounds and middle grounds. As I had explained earlier, your subject can be anywhere. It depends on your story and the elements that you need to add. You don't need to add very loud and evident elements. Something very small will capture the sense. You can try this exercise for yourself actually. Before using your phone camera, just use your eyes and think of a good frame. And then think of the elements that are being put in the frame. Maybe your kitchen. Right now, we can see your mother or all the other utensils, maybe the gas stove. So things like that. And then try to see what can be placed where in terms of the foreground, background, and middle ground that I just mentioned. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So I have some famous Bollywood examples for you. SRK fans, I hope there are some in this chat box. But as you can see, this very famous video song, Chaiya Chaiya, we see SRK in the foreground right now. And in the background, we see the trees, the landscape where he's like traveling and dancing through the train. As soon as it shifts, you will realize that you'll see actors like junior dancers in the foreground. And now SRK shifts back. Can we go back, please? Yeah. SRK is vision like SRK is now towards the middle ground. The background remains the same, but only the shots have changed. There are a few more examples that you can look at if you guys want to understand. Okay, now we go to the most camera driven part. हमने लाइट कर दिया अपने सब्जेक्ट को, हमने देख लिया हमारे फ्रेम और कॉम्पोजिशंस में क्या जाएगा, बट अब कैमरा का इस्तेमाल, हाउ डू वी यूज द कैमरा to get the best frame out there that we've desired. So there are things called camera shots, which also brings me down to the next two definitions over there: camera angles and camera movements. How do I treat and use my lens that I get the most cinematic and the most attention grabbing videos out there? Can you go to the next slide to elaborate, please? First and foremost, we're going to learn about camera shots. तीन basic camera shots का हम ख्याल रखेंगे. There are three shots that we're going to take care of. The first one is the establishing shot. As the name suggests, we use these super long shots. They're also called extreme long shots to establish our story. I want to tell a story of my home. Maybe my first shot is of my alley. In this case, we keep the camera at a distance, at a very long distance, and we let the frame capture everything. As you can see examples here, buildings are being established. We see in the second example, two characters are walking by. Now the location is being shown by placing camera at a distance and capturing it all. Can we move to the next slide? Now, as you can see, as our eyes see basically, whenever we look at something, first it's a very long shot. But when we're talking to people, we go closer. And say, for example, I want to see something very minute on a color of the flower, then my eyes will go closer. It will zoom in. So similarly with camera, the second part is the mid shots. Mid shots are usually used, as you can see in these examples, up till the waist. Usually when characters or people are having conversations, you must have seen on Instagram reel, the videos when people are giving interviews, it's usually a mid shot. The camera is placed at a relatively distant space from the subject, and it captures the mid. So these kind of things are used for interaction or just for basic establishing of the characters. Even when we get up in the morning, I'm very sure we don't notice like the person we're talking to completely, right? We just look at them and we know that more or less the frame is still up to waist until we like notice it all up and down. Can we go to the next slide, please? Of close-up shots, like I said, we'll repeat one more time. The camera placement is closer to the subject. Also, as you guys have noticed, your camera has a zoom in feature, right? Now that's not a camera shot, that's more of a camera movement or a feature that you have. So you can also use zoom in, which we will learn about later. I think we can move on now. Now we come to the camera angles. Majorly, there are three camera angles that we can take care of. One is a high angle. In the high angle, my phone will, like I said, the angle will be high, which means the lens will be at a higher place. As you can see in example number one, the lens is at a higher place, the subjects are at a lower place. To give you a more common example, the way all of us take our selfies, we always make sure that our hands are like this at a diagonally above level. It's for the same reason. But in order to emote in your filmmaking, one of the reasons why high angles are used is because it highlights the subject and it makes them seem much smaller and little powerless, right? So like as just say whenever we ride the flight, we're in the plane, right? So when we look down, these huge big buildings and big cities actually look very tiny. That's because we're at a higher angle. So similarly, if you want to emote and show that a subject is weak or is small, high angles are often used. Moving on to the second angle is the eye level. As the name suggests, it's also called the normal angle. When I'm talking to you right now, whenever we talk in school or when we meet outside, we make eye contacts, right? So that's the eye level. That's also where my lens is. So if I have a story where someone's talking to me as a perspective, as I am, like he's talking to me and I'm capturing that on my cell phone, it's very easy. My lens is going to be somewhere around my eye so that even when on the screen, it looks like the subject is talking eye to eye. Now, the low angle, again, as the name suggests, camera placement is lower than the subject. As you can see in the third example, I hope you know Sherlock. So the camera is placed at a lower angle, and in this case, and as opposite to the high angle, the subject seems to dominate the frame. The subject seems very, very big. The subject seems very, very strong. If you've seen Marvel movies, if you've seen movies of heroes and villains, you'll notice that the camera is at a lower angle whenever the villain is being introduced, because the villain is larger than life. The villain can destroy everything. So even in our stories, we just simply have to put our phone at a lower angle from our subject and we will get that angle. Can we move on now, please? Okay, now we come to the camera movement, right? We know what kind of shots we can take. Matlab, kahan dikhan, kitna, if you have to establish something, if I want to show a very close expression of someone, we know where I have to place the camera. Okay, if it is a high angle, if it is a low angle. But what do I do with it? Can I move it to convey better meanings in my story? So, coming to camera movements, the first and foremost is static, which means it is not a camera movement, which means the camera is placed at a single point and it is capturing something. Say, for example, I place my camera in your classroom when you're taking your favorite class and you're having fun with your favorite teacher. That just captures the movement. You as students will be moving, the teacher will be moving, the desk will be static on which you're sitting, but my camera will not be moving and it will only capture whatever is moving within the frame. Also, to mention here, because we're using our smartphones, and to be very, very honest, stability doesn't come. So if I have to capture something, say for 1 minute, my hands will shake, right? So we can always use things in our surroundings. We don't need to necessarily have like a very fancy equipment. Use books, stack them up, use a table, use something for the supporter, and you can just have a steady shot if you want to have it. The second movement is a movement. It's called pan. It can be from left to right or right to left. Again, usually, as you can see in the image, it's usually done to reveal things, right? And this is rather a quicker pan. You can also go with a slower pan. So if you just move, how many have seen travel vlog videos where like vloggers are all the time just moving their cameras like this? That is because they want to show you something. You can also do the same, which is pan left or right. Slowly the things are like emerging. Even with your eyes, right? When we wake up in the morning, we first like wake up, we see the first thing that's in front of us. We move our eyes, we see our room, we maybe see our school uniforms. Similarly, the lens can also pan left to right to reveal things in your story if you want to, or it can also be used to establish the entire room or the space with a small movement. Can we move now?
Shivangi, sorry, before we do, can you explain? I think you mentioned POV. Can you explain POV a little further, please? Student.
Sure. So, coming back to POV, the full form of POV is point of view. We can also slide back to normal angle if I may request. Okay, so as I was saying, coming back to POV is a short form of point of view. Mostly the videos that you will see, there are so many travel vlogger videos, there are films, right? There is a point of view of that person. Now, that obviously literally doesn't mean that we can see through the eyes of that person. It means that the camera is following the level and whatever the eyes are seeing. So that is something even you can use. I don't know, maybe you want to make a small video about how your first picnic was and you loved it. So as you can see, whenever people vlog, they don't really go up or down. They just show what they are seeing through the eyes, right? This is the movement usually. So that is what I meant by POV. That is the, again, a short form for point of view. So your lens is capturing your point of view. That's what I meant. I hope that's clear. I think I had explained static and left, right. Now, there's another very cool camera movement. Pan is left to right, right? Now, tilt is about the same thing, but going up to down or down to up. That's called a tilt up or a tilt down. As you can see in the previous video, the first one is a tilt down. I had a camera here. I was establishing something and then I had to show a character. So I tilted down my camera to the subject. And there you have my subject reveal, which is a student who's probably in the gym for a very young age. But anyway, so then we go to tilt up. Similarly, like I said, it's the opposite. I am at a lower angle and maybe I want to show a really cool building that I saw when I went outside or when I went for a vacation. So very good camera capture can be your videos at like your camera lens is at the ground, the normal angle, and then you tilt up to this huge, amazing building that you want to capture. So that will be a tilt up movement, like I said. So remember, guys, pan is left to right, tilt up to down, depending on what you want to show. Can you move on, please? Yeah, like I said, remember zoom ins and zoom out? We had talked about a couple of slides ago. We all know you can use your phone camera. There's a very clear zoom in option and zoom out option. You see those numbers written 0x, 2x, 4x, things like that. So the X stands for how much you can zoom in and zoom out in your phone camera. So as you can see, when you zoom in, maybe I want to show a very angry expression or my character getting angry. So I'll just keep the camera right there. I don't need to move my camera. It's very static with the books, very delicate. I can't move it, it'll get shaky. I just use the zoom feature, zoom it in. So the higher the number, the more you're zooming in. So if at 0x you're here, if you zoom in, the camera gives this movement, as you can see the Spider-Man's example, and closes in on his face. Similarly, like I said, the opposite is zoom out. My camera is already very close on a subject, on someone's face, but I want to show their entire room, like things like that. So as you can see in example 2, starting from just a small frame of the window, I'm zooming out, zooming out, zooming out, and I'm showing where the character is in such a large, beautiful landscape. So that would be zoom in and zoom out. Can we move on, please? Okay. My friend is about to take over, but can we just go back to the previous slide? Before we do that, there are two things that I want to very, very importantly let you know. First and foremost is, again, one of the advantages of digital filmmaking. We can shoot like this. We can shoot like this. We can keep the lens vertical. It's called portrait. In proper language, you call it a portrait frame, right? And then you can shoot like this with similar movements, angles, everything. The only difference is it will only capture the frame this much, like in a portrait mode, as you know on Instagram. The second is landscape. We can make our phones horizontal and then we can capture more. Again, same movements, same angles, everything can happen, just that because it's landscape. So it'll be wider, it will capture more of your frames. And if you would have noticed in traditional filmmaking, all the cameras would capture the footage in landscape, right? That's how films were made. It's only after like smartphones have come that we also see reels on portrait mode instead of landscape mode. Look at that difference next time you're looking at Instagram reels. And now the most important thing, you know how to light everything. The shot is beautiful. You've got amazing shots with these shots and movements and angles, almost there with the Oscars. But then what do you do with these shots, right? How do you edit? How do you put them together to make a beautiful story? And now I'd like my friend Madhuri to take over with how do we edit with what we've shot. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Shivangi. Yeah, I think you have explained a lot about production process, and now I think they can use their phone and shoot different angles and different shots. So moving on, we will come to the final stage of a filmmaking, which is post-production. I'll quickly explain like in a short manner, and I'll just tell you what is the basics of video editing. So now you have shot everything, right? You've recorded, like I'm coming back to my example of a travel video. You went to some place and you recorded everything, like all the locations and everything. But now what? Like you've recorded hours, 2 hours long videos. but you want to make one single video, right? You have to chop it down and stitch all the videos together, like different locations, videos together, and make one video. That is called editing. It's very easy. You have to put everything together. So stitching of different shots and make one scene. So, okay. So this is how you make it. So you have to put all the shots on the timeline, make it as a scene, and then all the scenes together will make it as a film sequence, which is called like a video layer. And then adding music. Every film, every video has a music. So you have to put the music also. So music and sound also come along with this. So stitching all the shots, all the music, all the graphics, everything together on one particular software, which I'm going to take you through. There are a lot of software which are available freely on your phone. And you can also simultaneously, if you want to see, you can also do it on your phone. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so easy, we'll go very easy. As Shivangi has already mentioned about the shots, different angles and everything, different emotion, different movements and everything. So I'll just quickly explain you how things works on edit. So when you're shooting, you shoot different shots. You must have heard takes, take 1, take 2, take 3. So those are shots of particular scenes, which you take in different angles. Okay. So traditionally, and I talk about the history of editing. So what people used to do is, there was a reel, right? There was a film reel. Traditionally, we used to use the film reel. So they used to cut the shots. Like they used to literally cut each shot and paste, like stitch together to make a scene. Like you can see, someone is scribbling and telling you like how shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, and shot 4 can come together and make one scene. So similarly, so on the timeline, when you put one shot, another shot from the scene, the 4 of shots come together and make one scene, and all the scenes comes together, make one film sequence. This is how the edit works on the timeline. So moving forward, I'll explain you what all layers are there and how you can work on the application or a software. So you can see this is a one particular software which I want to explain, which is Filmora. So you can get anywhere, like it is available free. You can go check online if you want. So this is how it looks like. So you can see the scenes and the shots visible on the timeline. So you can see the timeline. There is a video coming over there. You can see there are 3 shots, right? 1, 2, and 3. And then there is a music layer below that. So this is how it looks like on the timeline. So you can see that 1, 2, 3 shots, and combining it is created. We have combined 3 shots, and now you can see the scene coming out of that. Okay. So moving forward, we Akansha, yeah. So I want to tell you, this is a effect, Kalishov effect, which is used for editing, and it's a traditional method of using editing. It is important because this will show you, like, it's not all about story. It is not all about story. When you edit, if you change one particular scene, the entire message changes. So if you change one shot, your whole message will change. So I'll quickly want Akansha to show this video so our audience can understand this effect.
Now, the third way is what one might call pure cinematics.
Oh, sorry.
No worries, no worries.
Now, the third way is what one might call pure cinematics, the assembly of film, and how it can be changed to create a different idea. Now, we have a close-up. Let me show what he sees. Let's assume he saw a woman holding a baby in her arms. Now we cut back to his reaction to what he sees. And he smiles. Now, what is he as a character? He's a kindly man. He's sympathetic. Now, let's take the middle piece of film away, the woman with the child, but leave his 2 pieces of film as they were. Now we'll put in a piece of film of a girl. He looks. he smiles. What is he now? The dirty old man. He's no longer the benign gentleman who loves babies. That's what film can do for you.
Okay, so you saw like how important is to put what is the correct shot and which shot you want to use. Replacing one single film or a shot, see the whole entire message changes. Okay, so this is what is the Kuleshov effect. And you can find more on YouTube if you want to learn more. You can see more. There are a lot of examples available on YouTube for Kuleshov effect. Okay, slide change, please. So I'll quickly tell you about 3 layers of video, which is video track, and then overlay track and title track. So video layer comes where you put all the shots and scene, whatever you have shot, and you want to stitch it together. That is your entire video track layer. And overlay is the adjustment layer where you want to put filters, filters or any effects or anything. You can put it on the overlay track. And then the title track, which comes for the text and graphic. You can put the graphics over that. And then below, there's an audio tracks. There are multiple tracks available. You can just do the plus and all the tracks will come down. So you can see there are 2 tracks for audio. So one is your main audio, the dialogue audio. Another one is the music track. There are 2 audio tracks. Okay, so this is how this video track looks like, and the layers on the edit software looks like. Moving ahead. Okay, so if you want to write it down. There are these easy applications available on phone. You can work on these applications if you want to edit. So there are Filmora, VN Video Editor, InShot, and Vita. You can write it down, or we will also share this presentation later for your reference. So you can just write it down from there also. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so I'm just quickly going to give you an example of the software Filmora and how does this work. So there is a simple edit. This is what they show when you go to the edit software. And then you can see that this is how it looks like. You can see the same tracks, same timeline, which I showed you earlier, the layers. And this is how you can see the edit is going on. Can you play again, Akansha? And the shots are changing. So this is where you can see the colors also. So there are different colors of shots. So you can see there is a blue color shot, purple color shot, which differentiate different shots on the timeline when you are placing it. Okay, moving ahead. Okay, so you can also adjust sound in this software. So it's very easy. You can put your audio on the audio layer and you can adjust the volume, like whatever, if you want to increase, if you want to decrease, and also levels the audios there. Okay, next. Okay, so yeah, this is the easiest part. So here in filmmaking, we use color grading. So here you can see there are different tabs open: video, audio, color. So you can simply put like colors, any filter over your video, whatever filter you want to use, you can put all filters. It's available there, freely available, all the filters there. There are color options. You can also manually do color grading there. It's also very easy, like exposure. You can balance the exposure, brightness, colors, everything. Okay. Move ahead. Okay, so this is how the software looks like. The Filmora is a very easy software, and it is used by many YouTubers, many people who are making films right now. And like especially we are also using this software. It's available on Windows, MacBook, any phone, anywhere. Like application is also available, so you can try it out. Okay, so I want to talk about very important cut, which is jump cut. So when you are putting your shots together, so, you know, sometimes your timeline looks abrupt. When you play it, the shots look abrupt. The scene is not coming through the way you planned it. So why it's not coming through? Because you are taking different angles and not placing it aesthetically. I'll show you two quick examples for your understanding. One is the way you should not do it. The jump cut example one, you should not follow this exercise because this is not the correct way of showing any shots. And the other jump cut is the way you can show when the time is clicking, when the time is going on. That is another way where you can show the jump cut. So I'll just quickly play for you.
Madhuri, 1 second. I just wanted to clarify for the students. Filmora is free, right?
Yeah, it's
about that.
It's
and also it's available on the phone and on the laptop?
Yes.
Okay, great. So that was a question that we had gotten. So I just wanted to address that. Cool.
Yeah.
A jump cut is a cut to later action from one filmed scene to the next, creating an effect of discontinuity or acceleration.
You can see the abrupt cuts coming on. Yeah. So this is the jump cut, which you should not use it on your films. But if you want to use jump cut in a very good manner, like how you can film it. So there's another option of using a jump cut in a film and how appropriate it looks like. Yeah, Akansha. Okay, so as I already told you about the audio layer, so audio layer is a very important layer. You know, everything is music and sound. Without music, your video is not a very good video, I can say, because you have to show audience your music and your sound effects, whatever you are using. So if you're watching an animation film, for example, I'll show you the same film with music and without music. Akansha, can you play? So this is without music. Okay, so how dull this video looks now. And if we'll play with music, Akansha? Akansha, we cannot hear this. You have to be on mute.
I am not on mute actually. I don't know why you can't hear it. I'm very sorry. I know this is the whole point of being able to show this is the sound.
I know.
You can't hear?
No. You have to be, actually, you have to mute yourself first.
Mm. Oh, okay. I'm very sorry. I'm not sure how to figure this out. But
Okay.
this is actually a great way to understand why sound is important. This entire method, because now you know. So any video, I would suggest you guys. I'm sorry that this is not working, but watch any video and then put it on mute, and then stop the mute and watch it, and you will see how much difference access and hearing the sound and hearing the small things. How much it makes a difference.
Yes,
so,
yes. So anyways, we can share
Akansha, sorry to cut you guys, extremely apologies, but if you could put these two videos on the chat box, if kids would like to just click and see.
Put the links there so they can see. And anyways, we can send the presentation later. They can understand that with music and without music.
Great.
I'll move forward. Yeah. Okay. So this is a fun exercise time. I hope you all are sitting with your notebook. So I will talk about continuity. So earlier we talked about jump cut and why the jump cut is coming. The jump cuts are coming because there is a continuity issue. I am sitting here right now and suddenly are you seeing me like this? And the placement changes. My curtains is open now and everything is like changed. Everything is changed now. So you can see, and I'll play one video for you where in this video, the editing lacks continuity. So the exercise is you have to see what all errors are there in the video, and you have to put all the errors on the chat, and we'll analyze like your answers, all the answers, and at the time of Q&A, we can discuss this. So we'll quickly play this video, and you can write down the errors of continuity. So continuity can be like my jacket is changed for the next shot, some placement, like some property is changed. You can say the curtain is removed from my background on the other shot, like that. So some properties are changed, or some costumes are changed, but you should not do it when you are shooting. So that is what you lack when you do it on your shoot or on your edit. So Akansha, can you play this video?
Okay, I'll bite. What's wrong? You've all been really quiet tonight, and I can't help but think I did something.
Son, we've been concerned about your videos lately.
My videos? What about them?
It's just, well, your editing lacks continuity.
What do you mean my editing lacks continuity?
Jack, when you edit a scene, you have to watch out for little things in the background.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm a film major.
I'm not sure if you are. In one of your videos, you had a soda can facing one way, and then when you cut back to the scene, it was facing the other way.
Oh, please. That's so tiny. Nobody notices that.
Don't be so sure, son. People can get distracted if something's not the way it was originally.
But I always check for continuity.
Like in a fight scene. If there's a speck of blood on the fighter's cheek, that little speck of blood has to stay there the entire fight scene.
I understand the concept, Father.
Well, there's another video of yours where your head is turned toward the camera.
Oh, let me guess. And when the shot changes, I'm looking the other way, right? That's a very common mistake that you'll see in a lot of movies, including some of the larger releases.
That still doesn't excuse you from getting sloppy in the editing room.
Sloppy? I spend hours on each video making sure every shot, every sound, every frame is perfect. How dare you call me sloppy?
We're only trying to help, son.
I don't need your help.
These pancakes are delicious.
Don't change the subject, Mother.
Don't talk back to your mother.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
You have got to learn to be more open to criticism, Jack. What was that?
Family shot.
I think they
No, I
might
don't
put
think
errors now.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of errors on the video, and I'm ready to hear the chat box.
Guys,
Yeah.
also just now that we figure out the sound, I just want to go back and show the
Yeah.
sound. Ooh, I think I've gone too far ahead. But I just want to show the sound so that everyone gets an idea, and then we can wrap up, I think. Right after that. It's not for some reason. Let me go forward. This is the one?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys saw the one without the sound, so I'm just gonna play with the sound. So you guys get an idea, right? In terms of
You
Oh,
can
nice.
see the music.
everyone has written, Madhuri, everyone has written on the
Good,
chat.
good.
So you can see.
Okay. So yeah, actually we are excited about this exercise because this was an interesting video, and you can see that there was a lot of errors and he was actually lacking with continuity. So let's have a chat with you all there. And also, like, I want to address this one thing, that this exercise, I think you got a nice idea of shooting and editing with your phone, and with your you can edit on your phone. So now you're also aware of our Make Cinema competition, right? So you guys can use this. You guys can use all these softwares to edit your videos, and you can plan all the shots which Shivangi addressed to you. Okay, so now we are open for the questions. We can quickly go to our question sections and we can chat. Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we already have a question in the chat box which says, could you please explain the term SFX? That's a good way to start, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we will just begin. So guys, anyone who has other questions, please post them on the chat box. I think there were already some
Are we
questions
going?
earlier on. Sorry. I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah, are we doing one by one? I'm saying.
Yes, we'll do one by one, and also just questions that anyone has, you can just start posting, on the chat, and I will look at them and tell you. I think there were some questions earlier. I'm just going to go through this and see what was there. So one thing was, of course, the idea of Filmora being free. So that is a software, of course, that you can write. Additionally, Madhuri, a student pointed out that actually when you export from Filmora, the watermark comes. So maybe
Yeah. So actually, that watermark is there. It's free to use, but you cannot remove the watermark because that is what they give. They provide you, and that is their software. So you cannot remove the watermark actually.
Okay. So is there any other software that allows you to export
No,
without?
I think you can try VN Editor.
Okay.
VN Editor helps you to save the file the way it is, the original one.
And then a student has asked about Dishita Seni asked about whether we can make short films on the laptop as well. So if you guys want to, that opens a whole new world. So I'm sure you guys can get into that
That's
as well.
a whole another session.
Okay, so I just want to
basics
briefly
to learn.
mention, because sorry to cut you, but I just want to briefly mention and answer that question is that yes, you can very much, but because I spoke with respect to camera and lenses, I would like to highlight that one way of doing it is you take your phone, you click as much as you want to, you get the footage, and then you transfer your footage to your laptop. If you want to edit or make a film on laptop, that's how it can happen. I don't, and I would not advise anyone to use the laptop lens to capture.
Yeah, exactly. That's what my answer was. Not using a
So,
laptop lens to shoot.
yeah,
you
so
can
for
get it over.
shooting, no. For making a
No.
film, definitely you can.
Yeah. Yeah, you can
Yash.
use Filmora, sorry. But you can use Filmora or any other software which I have mentioned here. You can use on laptop also. It's available. The website is also available free. So you can just Google it, Filmora, you'll get it. VN Editor, you can get it, and you can use it there also. Same process.
Okay. Yash Singh Rathore has asked what is SFX. So Shivangi, can you just explain that a little better? I think you mentioned SFX at some point.
SFX would be sound effects. I think that was
Sound effects, yeah.
Madhuri mentioned it.
What
Would you like to take it or should I?
Yeah, I'm okay. You can take it.
Cool. So
can I answer?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so SFX essentially means sound effects. It's just the short form for the effects. Now, what is the difference? There's music, right? As we add in our videos, you see them added in nice vlogs on Instagram, different kind of music, different kind of shots coming. Sound effect stands for the natural sound effects that things would have, right? Like as we saw in the video that was shared by Madhuri, you see you can hear the sound of the of elements in your composition as well. If there is a clock, you can hear the clock ticking. Now that is not music adding to your video. That is you're adding sound effects to the video. If you see a person walking in the frame, you can hear the footsteps. So it's not necessary that the footsteps were recorded when the person was walking in the frame and when the shot was being recorded. Maybe we took the sound effects of footsteps of someone walking, and as Madhuri explained, we would add it into one of our audio layers. So when the person walks, even we can hear them walking as we would in real life.
Yeah.
So I hope that explains it.
Yeah, I also want to add one point. So if you are interested to know more about sound effects, so earlier I wanted to add those links, the how sound effect is made. So you can just Google, you can go on YouTube and check how we make sound effects. Actually, we make Foley sound. I'm not going to go technical, but you can just Google sound effects, how to make sound effects. So it's very easy. If you want to make a sound effect of clap, so you can record clapping. Simple. Like this is how the sound is recorded for clapping. This is like you can use your shoes tapping and you can use it as a footsteps. You can record it on your mic. So it's a very interesting. I can drop the links there here afterwards. I drop the links here from YouTube. You can check it out how the sound is recorded.
So the
Okay.
next question is that suppose from Rahini, her question is, suppose she makes a short film, then where does she submit it?
Make cinema.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Make Cinema is the first place you go to, and it'll take its flight from there. No, but okay, on a serious note.
Yeah. So if you're making a short film, I think there are a lot of places where you can apply for it. Basically, you should first apply for Make Cinema for first. Most part of this session is like you're learning cinema. Now you have to submit your films there. And another is you can also apply for festivals. Yeah, if I'm not wrong, like the festivals are the right platform to submit your short films. And also you can put on YouTube, Vimeo. There are several various applications where you can put your short
Madhuri,
film.
sorry to cut you off. Can you explain Make Cinema a little better? Because I think that's the best avenue for them right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we have 3 sections in IKFF, which is watch, learn, and make. So we are going to announce our winners. So Make Cinema, I'll just quickly explain you what is Make Cinema. So all the schools have assigned, we have assigned a task of making a film. Like all the students can come together and make a film, a short film, whatever story you want, whatever, how you want to shoot, bring different casts. You can be a cast on your video, you can arrange the cast, everything. Like you make a video, make a short film and submit to our website. There is a registration available. If you want, Akansha, can you share the website from your side so I can show that they can register there and they can apply directly from there? You can register your name, your school name and everything, and you can submit your film there. So we are going to announce the winners in December. So you have one, I think December is coming. So you have 20 more days to make a film and you can submit your film there on the website. So if you want, I can just show you quickly the website.
Madhuri, can I ask you to share your screen, please? I'm not seeing open right now. Figure out where it looks in. Meanwhile, we'll just move on to some more because we have a lot of questions. So I want to try and answer them a little faster. So one question repeatedly that we're getting is not understanding the Kuleshov effect. So can you, one of you, please explain that a little more? And also, additionally, someone else has also written that DaVinci Resolve is a software that you can use to edit, that when you export doesn't leave a watermark. DaVinci Resolve is a little bit more complicated to understand, but there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube that you can always look at to try and understand and sort of learn these softwares better. DaVinci Resolve is also free to download. So in case you are interested in doing that, you can do that. So thank you, Twisham, for that suggestion. That was actually really helpful. Yes, so can you explain the Kuleshov effect, please?
Shivangi, can you explain? I'm just I'll quickly
Sure,
show them.
why not? Okay, Kuleshov effect. Simply put, what Kuleshov was trying to explain to us was that I'll have one image, right? You can see my face right now. That is one shot, simply done. Now, how will my audience or people who are looking at the video be able to associate meanings with it, right? So imagine this is my face right now, and next to me is a bowl of karela, a vegetable I hate. I don't like it at all. So my expression is very grumpy, okay? So my face is there. Then you cut to the shot of karela, and then you come back to me, and you're like, grumpy. We don't like karela. But then imagine there's another shot. Again, my face is there, and then there's a bowl of French fries. I love French fries, right? I hope all of you do too. So there's a bowl of French fries, and then you cut to the French fries, and then you come back to me, you see me smiling. I haven't said anything. I haven't said a single dialogue about whether I like Karela or whether I like French fries. It's very simply put, as an audience, first you will see my straight face, then you will see the vegetable I don't like, and then you will see my sad face. I am not saying anything. You will associate it in your mind that, okay, Shivangi doesn't like Karela. So that is the Kuleshov effect. Similarly, it's my face, you see fries, and then you see me smiling. So that's an association you will make in your mind कि अरे शिवांगी को तो French fries बहुत पसंद है, French fries देखते ही वो खुश हो गई. So that association is Kuleshov effect. As filmmakers, हम अपने lens से जो भी capture कर रहे हैं, whatever we're capturing from our lens and whatever comes next will give meaning to it, right? So that effect is Kuleshov effect. If you want to create meaning in our video without saying literally, oh, there are trees, I like trees. Now that you will write in a paragraph. But if you want to show in a video that you love trees, how do you do that? You take the shot of trees and then you go back to your own face who's smiling and looking at trees. I don't have to say anything. The viewers themselves will understand that this person loves trees because they're smiling around. So, this meaning association that we did by just putting two shots together, changing meaning of it completely, is called the Kuleshov effect. So it doesn't matter what, like, it basically in simple formula, if you guys want to understand, like two shots will create a third meaning altogether. My face plus Karela means bad, like I'm unpleasant, I'm unhappy. See the third meaning altogether. But my face with, like, my smiling face with French fries, again, third meaning altogether because I'm happy this time. So I hope does that helps you. It's about association and meaning, but by putting one shot after the other in terms of what you want to convey. हमें दिखाना क्या है अपनी film में.
Okay.
Yeah, does that I hope that helps.
Thank you. So in the next question is what apps and how do you make an animated movie?
Oh,
Okay, so animate. Madhuri, do you want to take this or?
yeah. So animation is altogether a different world, you can say, in cinema. You have to actually use different softwares. There are different softwares, so After Effects, and like there is different Premiere software, Adobe. There are different software to use that, and you have to learn animation first, because a very tricky thing. If you can make drawings, you can illustrate, and you're good in graphics and everything, yeah, definitely you can go to that line and you can start doing animation. But it's a very technical thing, and I'll advise, like, you go and search on YouTube's like how animation, like simple animation, like whiteboard animation, you can start learning through that, and then rest. But by time being, you can go to any institute to learn that, and you'll get a better understanding of animation and VFX. Yeah.
Do you by any chance know any apps, or do you suggest that they Google?
No. So there's no app like that to use on phone for animation.
Okay.
But yeah, there must be some AI-based application which I can search, and maybe I can add when we are sending this presentation to the schools, I can add those links. Yeah.
We can annote that. Yeah, absolutely. And maybe the YouTube link description, we can write down some additional descriptions. Another question we've got is, can you explain a jump cut again, please?
Yeah, sure. So I actually wanted to show a practical example of it. So jump cut is, for example, you saw the continuity, right? That continuity video, correct? So you saw a boy was wearing a different shirt first, and then again another shot came and he was not wearing the shirt. That's actually a right example of a jump cut where there was no continuity. Okay. And then you saw that his mother was sitting beside him, and then suddenly she was not there. So that is another example of a jump cut. Okay. So aesthetically, that is not right, because your continuity should be there, and your angles, whatever you have planned, should be a fixed angle, and everything should be planned earlier. So in the video, her father was talking about how he lacks all these continuity shots. So you can see in the whole entire video, there was a lot of errors. Every student is pointing out. So the jump cut and the continuity goes along.
Okay. We've got a message from Ayush Kumar, who asked if we can make a film from Canva and KineMaster. Are you guys
Canva? I think Shivangi, you can answer better, because you generally use Canva for graphics and everything.
You can make a film in Canva. I mean, there are ways, but I don't think you should go for that, because it's, in my experience, Canva allows you to put videos in your presentations, but it won't allow you to individually put shots only that would create a film. So, like Akansha had mentioned, I'd request you to kindly consider DaVinci Resolve, or the apps that Madhuri had mentioned, Filmora and VN Editor, because Canva for filmmaking would I would not recommend.
Yeah.
Okay. Jigyasa has also written, ma'am, students can we use Krita for animation? Are you guys familiar with that? Krita? Krita? But you guys, this is really great because you're introducing us also to some new software, some new ways, and this is so you're teaching us as well. So thank you for that, because we will do our additional research to find out if Krita can be used for animation. And so maybe what we can do is, since there's so many questions coming about animation, when we upload the link to this workshop online, in the description, we will try and gives you some additional resources with regards to this. I think that would be, yeah, helpful for you guys. Can you also, there's a question about using Power Director. That's another software that has come up as an
So for
example.
the software list, maybe we can share later, like
Okay.
animation and editing.
do
If you
that.
want, like I can give a brief idea and the links also attached to there in the presentation itself.
Also, can I just add to what Madhuri just said? There are n number of software that you can find, by the way, right? We've just tried to curate and bring the best ones to you, which are free and at the same time easy to understand.
Yeah.
So different softwares will have different requirements. As you guys are naming, there are n number of softwares out there. But yeah, the curation is very specific in terms of what is easy to understand and use as well for beginners.
From MGM School, Bokaro, we have a question about how to take good mid shots.
Okay, that's interesting. First and foremost, it depends on what do you want to show through your mid shots. But I would just like to reiterate that even with your eyes, like it's a practice that you can do just within yourself. Just look around you and just see what all are the things that you're seeing in mid shot, right? Mostly it's when people are talking, when we're attending to, say, a particular task, that we see the frame in mid shot. So, how to take a good mid shot? Ideally, I would say you can go for a normal angle, like I had mentioned before, at an eye level. And you can then adjust the placement of your camera and make sure that whatever your subject is, as the name suggests, you're only having the middle part of it, right? So, if it's a person, you're having them up till the waist, your camera is placed in that sense. And say if you can see the full body, then maybe you take the camera closer to that person, up until the point you can see the waist. Or if you see, like if you're too close to the person, you can only see their face, maybe you move the camera a little backwards, and yeah, as soon as you achieve the mid shot in your frame, I think you're good to go.
Great. Guys, we have in the comment section, I'm getting a lot of DMs about different softwares to be used, including from Advik, Macromedia Flash 8, CapCut and a Light from Nikun Jen for animation, so as well as Blender. So what we will do is, like we said, that we will put a list of these possible softwares in the description box when we upload the video, and you guys can sort of choose your pick from there, because right now, since this particular workshop is not animation focused, we have not gotten so much into those details. But since we're getting a lot of questions, we're very happy to try and answer those if you just give us a little bit of time and check the description box when we upload the video. Then we have another question, which is actually a very good question, which is that can a film be made by a person and a group, or a group?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
wow.
collaboration is a big cornerstone of filmmaking. So
Yes.
Exactly. You answered it well.
Okay. The answer to your question is yes, definitely yes. In fact, as you will move forward, you'll realize that these different processes that of filmmaking that we spoke of, story, camera, editing, sound, everything, it's actually a very specialized field, right? So eventually you will meet people who can only edit or who are only into photography. And as you're saying, it's a group effort. Everyone collaborates, you put your brains into it all together, and you come up with a beautiful film.
Yeah.
But having said that, I would like to draw back your attention to this workshop, which is attention grabbing videos through cell phone. So keeping that in mind, you can very well make a film on your own as well.
Correct.
It's not something that you really need 4 or 5 people with for. You have your lens, you have your editing software, you know the music. Also, please note that filmmaking is it's a long process, right? If you want to make a good film, you don't want to do it in 5 hours, whether you're doing it alone or you're doing it with 5 people.
Yeah.
My suggestion: take some days and time off, concentrate on one each part of it, put it all together, and you'll come up with a beautiful film all by yourself as well.
Correct.
So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
So Livan, this also answers your question because we had gotten from them how much time does it take to make a short film. So it takes some time. So
Sometime,
Shivangi has answered your question as well. From again, so Ishani Haldar, you had asked which app is best to use for editing. So we've in the workshop spoken a little bit about Filmora and be an editor, and you can always again we'll post it when we put up the this workshop online, so you guys can get another idea then. MGM School Bokaro has also asked, can we get a production house or production support for good content?
For the Make Cinema, if I may know.
It's just a question, I think maybe even just for films they would like to make themselves.
Yeah, so like you can go, like there are a lot of filmmaking students who might be interested to help you. I can say like you can just go and check and discuss with them, go to the studios nearby you, you can sit with them, have a discussion like how to shoot. They can give you, they can advise you on how to shoot on phone actually. So we have given you like how you can shoot, but they can also advise you to take actors and like whom to act, where to shoot, the location guide, everything. They can also help you. So you can, yeah, definitely go to the studio or any production houses nearby you. And also, I will advise to go to a film students who is already learning, so they might help you well. Yeah.
Thank you. Hitansh and Sharad have both given sort of references and examples. Sharad has shared that we can use Animation Desk as another software, and Hitansh has said that if they're not wrong, Krita can be used for 2D frame by frame animation and digital artworks. So guys, you guys are really clearly better informed about this. So if I can ask you, everyone who has DM'd me these particular, like direct message me these particular details, if you can post it on the general chat group so that everyone can see it, because this is actually very, very helpful for them as well. So yeah, if you guys could just post it, then everyone can see it together.
Sharad has a question.
Yes. Sharad, can I ask you to post it on the chat, or you can direct message me and I will ask it like that? Is that okay?
Akansha, they cannot directly send it to the group. Okay, you can copy paste it.
Oh, okay. No problem. So you can just message it to me and then I can post it. Advik has asked, what editing programs do big movie studios use?
Okay. So there are two basic, I can tell you about the Adobe. There are two software, Adobe software, the Creative Cloud, which is used basically for the film in the film industry. They are using Adobe software, Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro is the software name, which is generally used, and DaVinci. There are two major software which are used in the film industry.
Yeah. So Advik Sinha has also asked, how long should a short movie be?
Shivangi, you want to answer? I'll take it.
Sure. I mean, ideally, the duration of a short film, what is considered short, is under 20 minutes. People make it for 10 to 15 minutes. You can make it for 5 minutes. In fact, I've seen a very beautiful short film for 1 minute as well. So ideally, the duration is under 20 minutes. Similarly, for feature, it's 60 minutes or above. That's when it's called a feature film. So yeah, for short films under 20 minutes, but I would say do not think about the durations right now. As soon as like you have the story in mind and in your place, go for it. And then you can always work around it and the durations can be worked around. But to answer your question simply, under 20 minutes is what is considered a short film. So it can be 1 minute, 20 minutes, 30 seconds, anything.
I'm very sorry, guys. My computer's actually gotten hung. So very sorry, I can't. Just give me a second. Unfortunately, I'm not being able to see. But another question that I remember we had gotten is that for a fresher, how should they begin? What things should they keep in mind when they're beginning to write a short film? How can they make it better? I remember this question from MGM School Bokaro. So Shivangi, can you take this over? I will just re-log in because I will just see what's happening. Thank you.
Oh, why not? So to make a short film and make it better, I sincerely request that you start writing, because I very, very strongly believe that if you can write it down, you're halfway through, right? So we imagine n number of stories, we imagine n number of things when we're thinking of a story. But when we go down and sit down to write, we know exactly what we're writing and what we're mentioning. And it also helps you with visually imagining it. because as you write, you would also think what exactly do you want to show and how will you execute it. So to answer your question, I think the place where you can start from is just write. If you have a story in mind, no matter how big, how long, how complicated, just go and write it. And from experience, I can tell you that you will not like what you've written. But the way to good writing is through bad writing. So do not hesitate and just write. Once you've written it and once you read it, you'll have a much better idea of where to start, what to show, how to go about it. So yeah, my answer shortly would be right. Just right.
Okay. From Shrutika, we have, so just so you guys know, we have posted, I'm going to try also and post the other comments that students had direct messaged me, so you guys can all see it. Shrutika has a question about making a horror film, and if she would like to add effects of a ghost, how does she do that?
Is it, should I or is Madhuri? Madhuri, are you taking this?
Madhuri, I think, is just trying to figure out the link. So Shivangi, if I could request you to take it.
Okay, sure. Again,
Sorry?
it's a very
Yeah.
subject.
Yeah, the
Was
maker I'll just post the guideline law.
okay. I think. Can I continue, Akansha?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, to answer you, Shrutika, it's a great question, but it's again subjective. What do you think is a ghost is? How do you think a ghost can scare you? Maybe you can just add a little bit of murmur in the background in a room which is like empty. That tells me that there's a ghost. For me personally, if I see like someone screaming and like making noises, that is ghostly and scary for me. So there are two ways of going about it. I would suggest when you're looking at lens and cinematography, you should concentrate on darker tones, the feel of the ghost, as it says, what how we all imagine ghosts to be. That they come when there's like empty spaces, there's no light, that kind of signifies the presence of a ghost. In terms of sound effects, which is SFX, like I said, there are different kinds of sounds that you can use. Depends on what your idea of a ghost is. And you can definitely use those sounds and add them to your layers in editing, which will again give meaning, as we had earlier discussed, to your frame and convey that there's a ghost.
Great. So
So,
from, yeah,
sorry. So
sorry.
15 January is the deadline for the Make Cinema films. And I have sent the link where you can find all the details, even the guidelines, what you can do when you are making a film. So everything, all the details are there, age groups, every category, and everything is there in the link. So we are going to share the link again with you. But if you want to follow, just click on the link and you can see the page and register.
Great. Jigyasa has asked a question about, she says that there's no studio nearby and she wants to make a short film in a group. So how can she make it? And also exams are going to start by the end of this month, but that's okay because like we said, the deadline for this is Jan 15th. She also has a follow-up question, which is that it says max 5 minutes, but she on the Make Cinema website, but she would like to make it longer than that. So Madhuri, can I ask you to take this one, please?
No, actually, if the because of the entries, we have kept the duration there, and the duration is fixed 5 minutes. So I will advise if you can make it and chop your idea to come under 5 minutes. So that will be great because there are a lot of entries which is going to come from different students and different schools. So we'll advise to keep the duration shorter. And for the other question, can you repeat the question? Actually, I missed that. Yeah.
So
The first,
she says that there's no studio nearby near where she
yeah.
stays.
Okay.
And also she
Yeah.
would like to make this film in a group. So how do you recommend she does that?
So you can actually make it in a group. You can ask your colleagues, your classmates. They can come together. If someone is good in writing, they can help you in writing. The technical support can be provided. I think you just have to shoot by your phone. You don't need any technical support because we have given you easiest way to shoot anything, like any video and anything. So you can just shoot on your phone. So you don't need any equipment, any camera equipment, any technical support. So anyone can shoot on a phone. And now in today's digital era, everybody knows how to, make videos through phone. So you can shoot through your phone. If someone is good in writing, they can help you writing down the script and the idea. You can discuss. You can do a brainstorming together and make your idea presentable. And then you can go and for the location, you can use your home. You can use anywhere. Like you can use your home any office, school classrooms. And you can go to the gardens to shoot. Like if you want an exterior shot, you can go to your area garden and you can shoot there. So location is not a problem. So you can go anywhere, any place, your friend's place. You can cast your friends, your classmates.
Yeah, we
They get-
just gotten a question about casting actually, so that's a good thing for you to touch upon.
Yeah, so you can cast your friends. Actually, anyone can be an actor. Yesterday only we learned about it. So we were watching a film named Bus Number 7. You can watch the film Bus Number 7 in IKFF we have in our program. So all the actors in the film is from the school. They are not professional actors. They're actually the students from the school. So anyone can act. It's just a thing that whatever you are doing right now, you can just follow that. If you have anything in your mind, the story is ready, you can act. You can just divide everything. Like you can make a group, and then you can plan together, and you can act also in your film. If you're making one film as a group, you can come together and act also. And if I'm not wrong, like the casting was another question from them, right?
Yes.
So to answer the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, so we have to wrap up now. So we're
Yeah,
just going to
it's
ask
well
the
done.
final 2 questions. But Madhuri and Shivangi have very kindly offered to share their email IDs. So if you guys want to take that and you have some specific questions, and specifically if you want to, send your films and you're unable to, for whatever reason, submit it online, you can email it to them, because we want to make sure that we see as much of what you guys have made as possible. So I'll just ask the final 2 questions. From Ishani Haldar, we have gotten, what is the age criteria for the filmmaking competition, Make Cinema?
It's there actually from 7 to 14.
7 to 14, great. And we also have from Yash Singh Rathor, is there any app or something that can give them SFX?
No. So if I'm not wrong, there is one website which give you free sound effects, and also you can use YouTube sound effects. Okay, on YouTube also, if you Google sound effects, you'll get all the sounds. So you can use those sound effects. It's really easy. I'll write a name, the technical name for which we use for sound effect, Foley sound. Free sound is on, and you'll get a lot of options on YouTube, which you can use. It's available free.
I
Yeah, if
also
Shivangi
want
wants
to add
Yeah.
one thing, that usually when you use editing softwares that Madhuri mentioned, they have a library for sound effects. Because sound effects are very basic, so you can actually go through, and there are some free sound effects also that you can use from their library itself. Again, not music, but sound effect.
Yeah.
So yeah, that.
Music is also there actually. So you can use both. But if you want to use specific sound effects, so you can Google and you can get it on YouTube. Yeah.
Great. I think that's all the time that we actually have for today. But thank you guys so much for coming and for staying for so long and engaging so well. We really appreciate it. This has been a really wonderful session for all of us. And I think we have learned as much as you have, which is always a very exciting, position to be in for us as moderators and as hosts. And if you have any questions, because you guys still, I'm seeing, have a couple of other questions, you can, of course, always Google it, or you can, we have put our email ID, so you can send them to us and we can try and answer them. But we will put up a resource list when we upload this video on either our website or on YouTube, like I mentioned earlier, and we will let your schools know where you can access it, so that you don't have to feel like you missed out on anything. But yeah, I want to give it up for Shivangi.
For the amazing audience.
Yeah, for Madhuri, and for you guys for being an amazing audience. So thank you very, very much. I hope you learned.
Sorry to cut. I just want to end with, remember guys, after all things said and done, if you want to make a good film, you have to start by just making a film. And it will be like not good according to you. I will not use the word bad particularly. It will not be good according to you, but that will mean you're on the right track. So don't be afraid and just make it.
Yeah.
That's all.
And also, I just want to add my experience ending this session. So when I started video editing, so I just learned the software. So learning the software is not the ultimate way of learning video editing. You have to actually go to the software and work. You have to practice. So right now you know the names of the softwares and everything, and which are available or free. You just use your phone videos and go to the software and try to use it. It will give you an idea of using effects. Use every effect, everything, whatever is available on the software. Try it out. You'll understand better. Yeah.
Okay, that'll be all.
Okay,
Thank you
great.
so much for being this
That's
lovely
all.
audience and being patient with us. It was lovely interacting with you all. And
Yeah.
thanks, Akansha.
Thank you very
for-
much, guys.
Thank you, Akansha, for moderating the session.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, bye bye.
Okay. Bye.
Make good films.
Bye bye.